Are recording now.
Okay, the first item is approval of the minutes from way back in November. And normally we have a vote to approve the minutes, but doing this over this Zoom or whatever this system is, Cisco WebEx, does anyone have any objection to the minutes? If I don't hear an objection, can we consider them approved? Is that okay according to the rules?
My only thoughts, John, on approving the minutes is without a quorum present. I'm not sure if we're able to.
Okay, we still don't have a quorum. All right.
Maybe we can circle back to that item towards the end in case more folks show up.
Okay, the first agenda item then is update on Otay Lakes Campground. Who's giving that presentation?
I am John. Lauren.
There you go.
Is this the correct presentation, Lauren?
That is correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a brief update through pictures on the campground here. And okay, next slide. It's been progressing pretty quickly. We're really excited. What you're looking at here is the Flag Plaza. And that is, it's nearby the where the campers are going to stay, overlooking the valley. Next slide. To your left, you have a view of the valley, and below you'll see a clearing, and that's where the archery range is. So it's kind of an overview of the archery range and the amphitheater area. And to your right, you see a low Cope Challenge course station, the beginning of the construction there. And the low rope challenge course will offer team building experiences to campers and day use groups with 6 unique elements along the trail to the zip line. And here are the photos of the amphitheater. Okay, next slide. And then lastly, the progress of the archery range. And that's it. Any questions?
Okay, is it over to me again? This is John. What is the timeline?
The timeline is it's going to be completed before Supervisor Cox leaves office.
Which is when?
So we're working on that now. Just to give a little bit, this is Karen, just going to give a little bit of background on the project. So the last time we touched base was June, and at the June meeting, we had just gotten the okay to move forward with the project environmentally. So we started construction on this project actually in August for the campground, and it's been moving full speed ahead, as you can kind of tell from the photos that Lauren presented. So right now they're still working on it, and I think the intention is to have a majority of the project completed in the next few months, likely by the end of the year. And we think that it might trail into next year, and it just really, a lot of the uncertainty is just because it's not a county project, so the Boy Scouts are there. We can certainly check in with them again to get a more finite timeline, but that's kind of what they're looking at. It's just in the next couple of months or so.
Okay, good. I was there not that long ago, remember, Lauren? And nothing had been started then, so it looks like a lot of work's been done in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think I saw you here in July, and it began in August, and it's really it's been moving along pretty quickly.
I'm getting a couple of questions in the chat. I don't know how you normally run the meeting, but I'm assuming it's more of a discussion style where people could just speak up if they want to. So if you can unmute yourself if you have a question, you can go ahead and do that. Joan posted a question. She's having problems with audio, so I said I would share her questions. And she says, I heard the Boy Scouts were being sued. How is the money they have paid on this campsite saved from that suit?
I can help to take that question. So one, I don't think we can speak for the Boy Scouts. I think that we have talked to them a little bit about the project to make sure the project is making progress. And we've seen that through these photos, through making sure that it's going to be open in the next 2 months or so. So we can't really speak to any litigation that they're going through right now, but I think we can confidently say that the monies that they have been utilizing towards this, and my understanding is they already have this construction contract, so I would assume that those monies are already in the construction contract. But other than that, we definitely can't speak for the Boy Scouts. We can certainly touch base with them, or we can, I think it might be more appropriate to contact them directly for that litigation question, but we can provide any other detail from the project that the county or the JIPA entities are involved in.
And there is also a question from Rick asking if the slides can be sent to CAC members.
Certainly, as soon as the meeting is over, I don't see an issue unless you guys do, Laura or Harold, with sharing the slides with the CAC members. I think we had committed to that last time around, so we can certainly do that as soon as the meeting is over.
Fine with me.
Yes, I would appreciate that. So any other, I can't see chat, so I guess you guys can. Are there any other comments or anything? If not, should we move to item number 2, update on OVRP Bike Skills Park?
And no other comments right now.
Are we ready, Claudia?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. My name is Nick Barracone. I'm a parks project manager with the County of San Diego, Department of Parks and Recreation, and I'm very happy to be managing this special project. As I think the committee is well aware, the 3 jurisdictions have continued coordination to complete design and have received approval from the County of San Diego Board of Supervisors and the City of Chula Vista City Council to move forward and complete the project. And in doing so, we've advanced through design to construction drawings and are now in the bid and procurement process. Bids closed in late September, so we are now in the final stages of the procurement process. We can share additional details at the next OVRP meeting. That's once we get the right documentation in place. And once we do, we plan to have a kickoff meeting with the cities. At this time, we can say that construction will start shortly after the contractor is selected, once that's finalized. Again, we're at the very tail end of that process. I'd actually hope to be able to announce that today, but we're just tightening up, hopefully, the last loose ends in that process. We anticipate project completion in winter 2021. And that concludes my presentation, and we'll take any questions. Thank you for having me.
Okay, once again, I can't see chat. If any questions are coming in via chat, I think they only go to the host. So do you see anything?
No, I don't see any questions.
Well, if we don't have any questions, let's move to number 3, Hermes Copper discussion. Who's giving that one?
I am. I don't see it on the screen. Claudia, I think it was the same PowerPoint.
Is it the same PowerPoint?
It is, yes.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries. Sorry about that. Thank you. So for the Hermes Copper, hi everyone, this is Karen. So for the Hermes Copper discussion, I just wanted to circle back on this. I think it's been quite a while now, but at the last CAC meeting, there was some questions on what the Hermes Copper situation in OVRP and how that was going. So we did want to circle back with this group just to make sure you guys are in the loop with it. So the slide that I've got here is, and for those of you who aren't aware, Hermes Copper is an endangered species, and the slide that we've got here is just to show the current occurrences. So you'll see the little dots and they're kind of circled in the purple there. That's where the Hermes Copper has been seen in the past. With restoration, and I believe the ask was to see if we could provide some habitat and restoration within OVRP. And with restoration, the general intent is to restore in areas that they've previously been seen so that the restoration is successful and we actually make sure to attract the species to the area. So as you can see from here, they are actually not really seen in the OVRP area very much. They're seen right outside of it, kind of north, a little bit closer to Sweetwater, and then a little bit northeast there. So we are continuing to coordinate with Fish and Wildlife Service, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, on seeing what to do about the species. And I think it's still very much under consideration to see, how to go about this and what the next steps are. So we just wanted to let everyone know that we are working on this and working with the species, and we're working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and kind of waiting for their guidance on how to move forward with this. But we don't anticipate that a restoration project for the Hermes Copper would be feasible in OVRP because of these reasons, as you can see here. And I think that's all I had to report for this, unless anyone had any other questions.
I have a question. This is John. You mentioned attract them. How would you attract them? What plants or whatever do we need to help them out?
So within the areas that they have been seen in previously, that's usually where you would want to attract them. So they do, you'd want to make an environment like plants, provide the plants and the type of vegetation for them to thrive and, grow. So we think that you typically try to do that in areas they've been seen previously and where they've been breeding previously. And those areas are just not in OVRP. So from these areas where you see the purple, I think there's a couple of ways, it depends on Fish and Wildlife and what they want to go forward with. But, you could always trap the butterflies and you can kind of force them into it so that we can increase the population. You can also try to do it a little bit more naturally by just providing the vegetation and the habitat that they'll thrive in, like I mentioned. And for that, what I would imagine is these purple areas provide as much habitat as we can in those areas, limit any construction or anything that bother them in those areas, and kind of during the breeding season especially, just let them come in naturally and go that route.
Okay, but do we know what plants they like? Like the monarchs, like the milkweed. Do we know what these guys like? If you don't know, it's okay.
I personally do not know, but I know that there's a ton of research on it. So if we had decided to go with this, we would be able to supply those plants. I know they are available in the area.
Okay, anything coming in on chat?
No, nothing coming in on chat.
Anyone have a question? Do we know if any members of the public signed on to this?
No members of the public signed on.
Okay, well, why don't we move to item number 4, grants discussion.
Okay, 1 second.
So for this item, it is supposed to be, there's not any slides for it. It's just a filler slide there, Claudia. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Confusion. So for this item, what we were kind of thinking was to, one, share with all of you what our current grants are and what we're applying for currently, so you're aware. And then two, just get any ideas from you guys in case anyone on this call knows of any grant opportunities or knows of projects that we might want to write down, because they think that one of the Hermes Copper, for example, came up because I believe it was someone on this group who requested that we do a restoration project for them in the area. So we just wanted to touch base to see if, one, we can share what we're doing, and then two, see if there's any other grant opportunities available, and three, kind of get some ideas on projects that we can look to in the future for applying for. So I can start for the county, and the county is currently, I think we mentioned this a little bit before, but we recently submitted a grant application for the Otay OTAS, which is the East Otay Trail Alignment Study. That's mostly trails within East OTAS, East Otay River Valley, primarily surrounding the Otay Lakes. So we submitted to the WCB for a grant for that project for environmental, and we hope to be hearing back in the next month or so. And I'll kick it over to the city to share any opportunities.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. This is Laura, and I wanted to share that on October 1st, the city of San Diego submitted an application also to the WCB, which is the Wildlife Conservation Board, for hydrologic studies of the OVRP to kind of do a comprehensive assessment of the hydrology downstream of the dam for the whole concept plan area below the dam, because the hydrology is fairly different on the other side of the, upstream of the dam. And so basically that grant, if awarded, would allow for a study and also for identification of 10 restoration sites that would be, using the results of the hydrologic assessment to determine what areas might be good for restoration, and then also do some preliminary planning or design on those. So we're hopeful, but it'll be a while, I think, before we hear back on whether or not we got that grant. And we coordinated also with the county and Chula Vista to get letters of support for that. So we're appreciative of that as well. That's what we have in terms of our most recent grant activity.
So the city of Chula Vista right now, I believe, is just in the process of submitting an application for an urban greening grant, which we came close to getting last year. And we're partnering with the Otay River Partners nonprofit group, and it's to clean up and restore the large parcels that are in the valley directly adjacent to the Otay Business Center, where you may notice that the strawberry field area has been developed with the 7-Eleven and a car wash. So we're really hoping that we can get that, and we're pretty certain that we think we're in a good position to get that and start cleaning that area up in the next year.
Okay, say, Harold, are you the Michael Walker replacement?
Yeah, precisely. Michael retired in July, so I'll be.
That's kind of a surprise. So you're taking his place. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions on this issue? Or anything come in via chat?
I think we did want to open it up a little bit to CIC members for a little bit of brainstorming, if we could, for if there are specific ideas or projects that you all think would be good for targeting for grants. And also if you know of any grants out there that you think that we should be pursuing.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything. Does anyone have any data they wish to share? Feel free, jump in.
Hi, this is Susie. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
So are you asking for projects that may need funding? Is that what I understood?
Yes.
So I know that Ranger Mika in the Valley had had some concerns about a couple, well, at least one, if not two, bridges had washed out. And she had been doing some research on getting some idea of how those might be replaced with something more appropriate. So that may be something that she could address if she's on the call.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mika. Thank you for that, Susie. Yeah, myself and then Laura has continued to look for that appropriate grant for that bridge, specifically for Mace Bridge. And we have tried to apply for the grant with the Urban Corps this year, but that didn't work out. So we're in the process of getting the quote to see how much it would cost. Then we can, that information will give us a better way of finding that grant, that project.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Hey, John, it's Ben from Living Coast. How are you?
Okay.
Hey, I just want everybody to know, I'm sure you guys are all aware of this at the city, all the municipalities, the Prop 68 State Park Program Grant. It's due December 14th. It's coming up. It's a big one, but I don't know if that's on your radar. It's for parks, through the parks, California State Parks. So they have $395 million available. So Prop 68, I could send that to you, but if you just look that up, that's my suggestion.
Prop 68. Okay. If I Google it, it'll come up. Anyone else?
Yeah, John, this is Rick Richardson, one of the CAC members. Just want to lend my support to what Ranger Mika said about the bridges. We recently rode through almost all the trails on the parks, and the damage from the spring rains are still very evident, with some serious damage in the low water areas. And in that one area, the bridge definitely needs a significant redesign and rebuild to increase the trail usability. Thank you.
Okay, so Ranger Mika, do you need help from the staff on getting together information on how to replace the bridges, or getting quotes or anything?
Yeah, we are working on it. Laura and I are working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess just to clarify a little bit about this item, I think we are just kind of wanting to get, the citizens' perspective. I think from staff and with the Rangers, we get a pretty wide view of what might be needed in OVRP. But I know that during all this time, I'm sure all of you guys are out there quite a bit as well, being in the area as well. So we just wanted to see if there was anything else that you guys were aware of that we may not have been aware of, that maybe you've heard of from the community or otherwise. So we're making sure to keep the community involved in the projects we choose to pursue.
Well, it's John again. Based on my trips to the park, I think our biggest issue is the homeless issue. Are we getting any relief there with purchasing these hotels? Can we place individuals in hotels, or when is that shelter going to be built? Does anyone have any info on that?
Yeah, while they're thinking about that, this is Rick Richardson again. Riding through the park, I'd echo what John just said. There's a significant homeless presence with a lot of trash and debris, vegetation damage, evidence of fires, all those things, and of course the human factor. Definitely, that's an area that needs attention, long-term and short-term solutions.
So, Harold, we're supposed to be building a homeless shelter in Chula Vista, adjacent to OVRP, or actually on OVRP land. Do we have any? I know Councilmember Diaz is supporting this.
Yes, that's correct. And from everything I've heard, they're still moving full speed ahead to incorporate that at the location of the 27th Street staging area, and still provide a 1-acre community park on the site. There's improvement plans that are being processed now for providing sidewalks and parking, and then to erect the facility there, which would be a semi-permanent, temporary looking shelter. And so it'll look similar to the ones we've seen in downtown San Diego. And I believe that they even have that set up over at the Public Works Yard. So the goal is, I believe, by the end of the year to be able to have construction started, and possibly beginning of the year, early part of 2021, having the facility be able to accommodate homeless people. So,
would you be able to send the CAC members the latest update on that?
yes, and I expect that we may get more information in the next 3 weeks. I believe we have a meeting November 12th, jointly with the PC. So there'll be more, hopefully, to share at that point.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to weigh in on this issue? Grants, homeless issue, anything? Let me just add a personal thing. After one of the PCCAC meetings, somebody brought up an issue with some homeless people when they had taken a group of kids into the park. And I rode through every single trail shortly after that and did a couple trip reports with a lot of pictures, and it was a big problem. And I did send it to some of the staff and to the politicians. I haven't heard much back because shortly after that, the whole virus thing happened and we had other priorities. But it is a big problem, and it's probably worse now. Okay.
Sorry about that. This is Gerardo with the Office of Councilmember Vivian Moreno. Just wanted to chime in, if I may. We're working with the mayor's office and court enforcement to bring more resources down in the OVRP area. I know we're working with Mika as well, and she's been really, really helpful. But yeah, we're working on it. We're in contact with the mayor's office and court enforcement to see what else we can to bring more resources to the area. But yeah, we're on it.
But you guys were the only ones that responded to me of the politicians. Okay. The next item is election for the vice chair. If we don't have a quorum, I guess we can't do it. So whoever on the staff is counting the members, do we have a quorum or not?
Karen, I count 8. How many do you have?
At the most, I think I counted 9. It's gone in and out. I think people's connections is being lost. I think, John, if you're okay, I think we might have to punt this to next time because we would need 10 for a quorum.
Yeah, well, we have to move it to next time. But whoever is online, think about whether you want to be vice chair or not and throw your name in. I asked one person and she said no, but it's wide open. If you're interested, throw your name in. Let everyone know. So since we can't do that, we don't have a quorum. Let's move to the ranger reports. Ranger Mika is up next.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon again, everybody. My name is Mika Shimada. I'm the Senior Park Ranger for the Western Otay Valley Regional Park. Today, I have 2 COVID-19 related report to share with you. The first one is the current status of park openings while we continue to experience COVID-19 pandemics. The City of San Diego Park Safety Protocol that applies to Otay Valley Regional Park has not changed since the last report I provided to you during the last PCCAC presentation on June 25th. So the Otay Valley Regional Park is open for the passive use only, such as walking, jogging, or hiking, no congregating or participating in sports activities, except for members of the same household, or if practicing social distancing. Do not shake hands or engage in any unnecessary physical contact. Maintain minimum distance of minimum of 6 feet at all time, and wear face covering when in a park and on trails. Do not enter parks or trails if you have a cough or fever. So those regulations are still the same since the last time. And the second report is implementation of enhanced sanitation regulation established by the City of San Diego to better protect city employees and the general public from contracting the COVID-19 viruses in city buildings. So we have established the routine, proactive, enhanced sanitation services and protocols with the objective of slowing the spread of the COVID-19 viruses within city-occupied facilities, such as ranger station, Mace equestrian staging area, public bathroom, ranger station, public restrooms. Ensuring the city can react to sanitation services requests resulting from potential exposure of a city-occupied facility to the COVID-19 viruses within 24 hours or as soon as possible. And we'll be ensuring city employees and the members of the public can observe the enhanced sanitation services in order to enhance peace of mind, confidence in the safety of our workplace and the public facilities. That would conclude the report from the Western OVRP.
Okay, how are we doing on fires? Is that still a problem? I saw one the other day on the news.
Yes, correct, John. It is still a problem, and I will provide some statistics on November 12th meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have a question for Ranger Mika? Or anything on chat?
Hi, this is Rick Richardson. A question for Ranger Mika regarding the large homeless camp that is on I guess adjacent to Main Street near some of the storage businesses. Seemed like that camp was getting pretty large. It's close to the equestrian staging area. Has there been cooperation with City of Chula Vista, law enforcement and social services to try to take some sort of enforcement actions to reduce the growth of that camp?
Yes, so currently around the staging area are 3 large active camps immediately adjacent to the staging for past probably year and a half, 2 years or so. But good news is that this Monday, the Monday, October 12th, Children's Police Department homeless outreach team and social workers, the nurse, and myself went out to conduct the outreach to the homeless camps, and there were approximately 14 to 17 homeless camps were contacted on Monday. And today, Children's Police Department are conducting a homeless camp abatement. And at this point, I don't have the exact location where they're cleaning, but as you know, the scale of the homeless camp can be pretty large. The one we had Heritage Road on the last year took from January to May to clean up. So depending on the available funding and availability of officer to provide security for the cleanup crew, all that needs to be available to execute cleanup.
Thanks for the report. I hope City of Chula Vista can continue to be responsive to the citizen and ranger reports about those camps. It just seems to be a continuous growth of homeless in the area, and without responding to that, it's going to continue to make the park unsafe, especially for youth to go into that area. Thank you.
I have a feeling that all the homeless that get kicked out of the Sweetwater River area and the San Diego River Valley wind up in OVRP, unfortunately. Any other questions for Ranger Mika?
Just to give you a feedback on that, the homeless individuals that's been occupying in the valley is basically the same people. I mean, I even remember, those people has been the same. So I am seeing some new faces on the Saturn Boulevard area, but rest of the area it's the same people for years after year. So unless we sustain the patrol with police department and sustain the cleanup, it will be a difficult challenge to keep the safety of the park.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Should we move on to the ranger report for the eastern area?
Can you guys hear me? This is John.
I can now.
Yeah, we're having Cox problems, and this is a good time to have assistance. I think I drove off for a little bit. Yes, I did ask for Ranger Lauren to speak, but I may not have been connected when I said that.
Hi, John. I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'll
please.
begin. Once again, I'm Ranger Lauren Raddick, and I work at Eastern OVRP. First, playgrounds have opened up in limited capacity, and we continue to sanitize the playgrounds twice daily. And as you know, the Board of Supervisors has a measure to hold religious services and gyms at parks. And we have a local dance studio that's taken advantage of that. They are here 5 days a week from 2 to 6, holding dance classes for girls. And so we've been busy with that. And it's really nice to see the park being used in some capacity while we can't have big reservations. And also we've developed self-leading trail markers for families and small groups to lead themselves, since we can't lead hikes yet due to COVID. And that completes my report.
Anyone have any questions for the Ranger? I think I'm still connected.
I hear you.
I'm just curious, when we allow the church groups in there, are we charging them the entrance fee, or are they allowed to do that for free?
The religious services, churches, and gyms, they fill out an application to our reservation desk, and if they meet all the criteria, the reservation fee is waived, but they have to meet in much smaller groups. So in other words, if we have a reservable area that has 50 or 100 capacity, they're meeting at 15 max for 50 capacity and 25 max for 100 capacity.
Okay, great. Anyone have any questions? I've been following your stuff on Facebook, Ranger Lauren, and it all looks good.
Thanks, John.
So, next item on the agenda is the CAC chair comments, and I do not have any additional comments. Does anyone have a question for me? Nothing heard. We do not have a vice chair. So subcommittee reports. I'm not sure how active our subcommittees have been recently. Does anyone have a subcommittee report they'd like to present? Nothing heard there. Did we ever get a member of the public to join us, or no?
No,
Okay.
we have members from the city of Chula Vista, but not members of the public.
Okay. I'm assuming we still don't have a quorum, so we're going to skip the vice chair election and approval of the minutes. So anyone have any other issues they want to bring up? Questions?
We do have 20 participants now. I don't know. I think someone was previously doing a count to see who was a CAC member. Can you do that?
So, John, this is Karen. I'm counting 8 right now. I know that we did have a quorum because I've seen a couple others come in. I have 10 total CAC members who've come either in and out of this call. There's just 8 currently present, though. I think people might be having some internet issues.
So unless I hear different, I'm going to recommend we move to adjourn the meeting. Any objections to that?
I second that. It's Ben.
Okay, our next meeting is December 17th for the CAC. Is there a PCCAC meeting scheduled?
There is, the next PCCAC meeting will actually be on November 12th.
November 12th.
Yep, that'll be the same time as the regular meeting. That's usually at 2 to 4 p.m.
Mhm.
That likely will also be a virtual meeting. Please do let us know, either one of us staff members, myself, Laura, or Harold, if you've got any suggestions for the next meeting, anything that would help out a little bit. We can certainly send the PowerPoint over as soon as this meeting is over to this group and move forward to that next one.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to get the presentations sent to the group, and Harold, whenever you get an update on the homeless issue, if you could send that out too.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Thanks.
unless I hear anything else, I say we move to adjourn. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye now.